G'day everybody, it's Peps and it's round 9 of AFL action, and this is where it all starts to really settle in for season 2022. The days and nights are starting to get colder, the muscles are starting to get a little bit tighter, the crowds are getting a little bit smaller because it is starting to freeze out there. But what doesn't shrink is our love for the great game of AFL football. Peps and J-Dog have their tips for round 9 of AFL action, and it's all kicking off Friday, May 13, 7:50pm at Marvale Stadium. The Pies of Collingwood versus the Western Bulldogs. Two teams hoping to potentially lock in an 8th spot this year. Western Bulldogs haven't had the greatest start to the season. The Pies haven't surprised, but haven't really set the world on fire. So they're hovering quite nicely. This is literally going to be an 8-point game. Collingwood can solidify, and the Doggies can definitely get back within touching distance of where they should be, which is in the top 8. Let's go through the teams. In for Collingwood is Caleb Poulter. Out is Jack, the blonde bombshell Ginnivan, with illness, and Trent Bianco has been omitted. In for the Doggies, and are they big? Alex Keith is in. Jordan Sweet, Luke Cleary. The Bont is back, and Riley West finally getting his game back. But they've got some major injuries, and this is my concern. Waitman is out. Crozier Medi-sub. Vandermeer injured. Rourke Smith has been omitted. Stephen Martin has been managed, and Tim O'Brien has been injured. Luke Cleary playing his first game for the Doggies. Good luck, young fella. Look, it's simply going to come down to this. It is at Collingwood's traditional non-home venue, which is Marvell, and good teams should be able to win anywhere. Now, I was going to go against the Doggies this week, but seeing that Keith has come in and seeing the Bont has come in is going to straighten up the midfield and the back line just a fraction. But I still feel there is too much emphasis on the Nort having to kick a bag for the Bulldogs to win. So I'm going with Collingwood just because they've got a little bit of a better spread down forward, even though the Western Bulldogs, I must say, have got a better midfield. And they are still a little bit susceptible down back. But the J-Dog, he is actually saying that the Bulldogs will rise rapidly, but potentially may fall off the cliff. But he reckons that they're going to rally by 9 points. I'm saying Collingwood by 3 goals or less. It is going to be a tight one, but we're at opposite ends of the earth for that particular game. All right, moving into Saturday, May 14. It's another Super Saturday. Hawthorn versus Richmond, 1:45 at the MCG. Wingard, Nash, Mitch Lewis and Sam Butler are all in for the Hawks. Out, Connor McDonald, Jackson Callo's been omitted, Josh Ward has been omitted, Shields is the Medi-sub, and Tom Mitchell has been managed. I don't think I've ever seen Tom Mitchell managed. What does that say? Are they scared of Richmond? I don't know. Is Dusty back? I'm not too sure what it's all about. Sam Butler playing his first game for the Hawks. Chad Wingard, the Chad, playing his 200th game for the Hawks. Good luck, big fella. Hopefully you're going to get that 10% added toughness with those magnificent tats you have screaming down your arms. All right, in for Richmond is Bagoa Nuon. Dion Prestia, the meatball is back, and Nick Vlosten. Out is Gibcus due to health and safety protocol. Jeez, he's quickly rising up for the Rising Star, isn't he? He's an absolute stripper. Ryan Mansell's suspended. Shane Edwards has been managed. And Sydney Kebab Stack is the Medi-sub. Bagoa Nyon. That's how you pronounce it. Fantastic, Peps. But good luck to you, big man. Your first game for the Tigers. Look, I just think Richmond, at the moment, they are playing good football. And I think they're a massive chance here. And I think looking at it, though, with Hawthorn, They lose a game like they did last week, but then they go out and lose by 10 points to Melbourne the week before. The team that's so far in front of anybody. It's ridiculous at this particular moment in time. And not having Tom Mitchell there is going to make it very, very difficult. So I'm going with I'm going with Richmond. I'm going with the Tigers, and I reckon this is actually going to be a little bit more than I reckon. I reckon it's going to be a 4 to 5 goal win by the Tigers. I just think Dusty back, Lynch is in great form. He's got his Batman and Robin combination down there with Rewalt. They are playing good footy at the moment. And there's no reason why they can't win this one at 1:45pm on the MCG tomorrow. All right, and more importantly, the J-Dog. He's actually said the Richmond midfield can fire up their Zimmer frames again. Will Lynch become the most dangerous player this year? I don't think so. I think he is absolutely soft as butter. All right, moving into a game that nobody is going to watch unless you're a member of these two teams. North Melbourne versus Port Adelaide at Blunderstone Arena. Crikey, get your thermals out for this one. And make sure you take the thermos as well too, because you're going to need something to keep you warm and keep your eyes open, because this is going to be a blowout. Nick Larkey, Tom Powell are in. Ben Mackay injured. Hugh Greenwood, health and safety protocol. Horny, the Horn Francis, he has been injured as well. Bit of hamstring tightness. We've all been through that. In for Port Adelaide, Kane Farrell, Riley Bonner injured. Trenton Mont out with health and safety protocols. Look, Port Adelaide, 10 goals. Easy. I just think because Harry Mackay, they've got no one down forward to stop them. The horny boy getting the ball out of the middle is going to be really tough. They've had a tough week, North. I think North have to have a bit of a reality check. Where are they sitting at the moment in terms of a rebuild? You've got to give it time. It just has to work like that. Don't put the pressure on the coach. Get on the Mark Neeld reality bus. Your list isn't that great. You're about where you should be. You're going to have to rebuild, and it's going to take time. Port Adelaide, they're going to win their fourth in a row, and the J-Dog is going to be pitching a tent Rays style. He's saying Port by 321 points. Actually, no, 15 to 25. Make your mind up, big fella. Port by 10 goals, minimum. Hey, tell me this isn't going to be an absolute corker of a game. This could set one of the top 4 spots in the final 8 for this year. It's St Kilda versus the Geelong Cats. 4:35 p.m. Marvel Stadium. Cooper Sharman and Jack Billings are back in. Dan Butler is injured. Marcus Windhager has been omitted. Nazaya Wanganeen Malera has been managed. In Selwood and Stanley, 2 older statesmen. Good to see that their age profile is continuing in that mid-30s range. Out Cooper Stevens is omitted because he is a early 20s. Francis Evans, another early 20s, has been omitted. And Jed Hughes has been injured. St Kilda, their second half last week was much better than their first half after being destroyed by the D's. Playing against the Geelong Cats, the Twin Towers down there, Hawkins and Cameron. Selwood in the middle, Reece Stanley. Is it going to be a challenge? Max King down forward. He's going to have to play against the big fella, number 46. You know what I'm talking about. He wears the headband. He runs, 2-minute kilometres. I've forgotten his name, but it doesn't really matter because I think this could be an upset. And when I say an upset, I think St Kilda are actually going to win this one. St Kilda showed me last week, if they can play on more than the stop-start, which is what stuffed them up in the first half last week, they've got the potential to get the ball down the King very, very quickly. And the man whose name I forgot, Mark Blixstars, against Max King will be a very tasty. And you know who's tasty? Snags Higgins. He had a quiet one last week, and he loves getting out the back at Marvel Stadium. So I'm going with St Kilda to beat the Geelong Cats in a close one, under a goal. And the J-Dog, well, he's simply gone with the Cats by 39 points. The forward line will make St Kilda look silly. Well, you know what? We're at opposite ends on that one there, J-Dog, and I think St Kilda will pinch this one in an upset that no one saw coming except for me. But you know who also didn't see an upset coming? Sydney Swans, because they will not lose to the Essendon powerhouse that had 5 people drop last week due to OHS COVID issues. And we're able to sneak a great win against Hawks, who did not see that coming. What an absolute fizzer that was. Alrighty, Sydney Swans, Jamie Bell, Sam Wicks, and Tom Hickey. Shit Tats is back in. Ronke has been omitted. Braden Campbell managed. Hayden McLean omitted. Ryan Clark has been the medi sub as well too. In big ins, Jake Kelly, Jordan Ridley, Guelphy, and Sam Durham out. Alistair Lord, medi sub. Zerk Thatcher injured. Ham has been has smoked, and he's been omitted. Devon Smith, illness. Kane Baldwin, omitted as well. And Dyson Heppel, good on you, mate. 200 games. Ever since you got the haircut, you actually start to look like a footballer. That's a lot of ins at the moment. Geez, 2 metre Peter is playing great footy at the moment. But I think the Swans, 7:25 p.m. at the SCG, will not let another one slip like they did to the Gold Coast last week. They've got too much pride. The blood spirit will shine and flow through the veins, and they'll win this one by 4 goals. J-Dog, he's actually gone with the Swans by 34. Essendon will crash. I know there's a lot of Essendon supporters who love a bit of tipped-out action, and they'll be saying, J-Dog, you're a twit, but you just never know. They are a bit of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde at the moment. When they're on, and when they're off, they stink. And I think that they might stink this week. The final game for Super Saturday. Oh, geez, this could be a percentage booster. Adelaide Crows versus the Brisbane Lions. Adelaide have been better than most people expected this year. Darren Burgess, I think, with the fitness side of things, has transformed what this team are doing. 7:40 p.m. at the Radelaide Oval. Let's have a look at a Brodie Smith, Darcy Fogarty, Jade Saligo, Kieran Strawn, and Ned McHenry all in. Out, Frampton, omitted. Cook, He's been kicked out the kitchen, omitted. Scharenberg, omitted. Gallant, omitted. Lachlan Murphy, injured. And Riley, I want a best and fairest and a mobile phone in 2020, has been omitted. O'Brien, which will be a massive wake-up call for that young man. He's a redhead, but he's still got lots of potential behind him. Anything can happen, mate. Pick yourself back up. You'll be back in next week. Darcy Gardner in. Hipwood, this is the big one. Hipwood coming down with an ACL last year, getting back in without a run. What will he be? Will he be rusty? I'm not too sure, but they need him. Without Danaher and without Daniel McStay, who's injured, Ryan the Leicester and Thomas Berry all being left out for this week is going to be a tough one. So you can look at this two ways. Adelaide probably have a better spread across the ground. Forward, back, Tex Walker up forward has been doing amazing things, and backline. They're probably not at the calibre of the Lions backline and midfield, but the Brisbane forward line is thin for tall stocks. So no Danaher, no McStay. That means Charlie Cameron's going to have to stand up. Lyons is going to have to stand up. Berry's going to have to stand up. So if they can contain the smaller forwards, I think they're a chance to win. But I could also see this being a blowout. It's going to be one or the other. It's going to be Adelaide keeping it tight for a majority of the game, and then it could sneak out the back. I wouldn't be surprised if they win. I know I'm sounding like I'm sitting on the fence with this one. But I just have a feeling that Brisbane will not want to let this one slip at the home. He's saying 7 points to the J-Dog. I'm going for a little bit more than that. I'm probably going 3 goals, 18 points for the Brisbane Lions. But it would not surprise me if this is actually closer or Adelaide do get across the line. Because as we know, this is football and stranger things have happened. Here's another one. We're getting into sensational Sunday, May 15th, and we're starting at Metricon, Gold Coast Stadium, for the Gold Coast Suns versus the Fremantle Dockers. The longest trip in football, most people say. Well, they've made a number of changes, and it's going to be an interesting one here. Let me take you through it. Charlie Constable, Joel Jeffrey, Noah Anderson, Sam Day, Sam Flanders. Good old Nettie makes it back in. Alex Davies has been managed. Jack Lukosius injured. Charlie Constable playing his first game for the Suns. Good luck, my friend. In is the block of land, Blake Acres, Ethan Hughes, Griffin Logue, Frederick, the 60-degree, Lob Wedge is back in, Rory Lobb and Travis Collier in. Michael Walters out, health and safety. O'Driscoll is out, and the gem, Switowski, he is injured as well too. Fremantle this year have been so consistent and fantastic to them. But I think this is upset. Now, we saw what they did against the Sydney Swans last week. I think the Gold Coast Suns can actually win this one. And that's not taking the piss. I just think they're a massive chance. They would have got a lot of belief out of last week. I like the ins. I like Sam Day coming in, Noah Anderson, absolute sensational, and Charlie Constable giving you a little bit more of that experience in there as well too. I think Michael Walters is a big out for them as well too, and also Sam Switowski. He's been magnificent for them this year. Rory Lobb, the big boy, is going to have a massive punch-on against Wits in the ruck. And so I'm actually going for a bit of an upset here. I think the Suns will win this one, and I reckon they'll win this by 3 points. J-Dog, he's actually gone the Dockers in a tight one in 20. So he's gone against the grain against myself again, and that's what we do at Lace Out. We love to argue about footy, but we do it with passion, and we do it because we love you, our Lace Outlaws. Listening to this beautiful little tipped-out section for round 9 of AFL football. All right, couple games to go. If I said this a week ago, GWS and Carlton was probably one of the biggest games of the week, you'd laugh at me. But after what happened yesterday with Leon Cameron pulling the pin and saying, look, enough's enough, it's the best thing for our club, at 3:20 p.m. at Giant Stadium in New South Wales, he'll be coaching the GWS Giants for the last game for the last 10 years. Connor Stone, Jake Riccardi, Tanner Braun, all in, no outs at this particular moment. In for the Blues, Brody Kemp, George Hewitt, Jesse Motlop, Lockie Fogarty, the Ploughman, and Doe Adair, Paddy Doe, the female deer, are all in. Harry Mackay injured and will be out for a number of weeks. Jack Martin injured, and Lewis Young, health and safety protocol. Jesse Motlop is in. Good luck for your first game, young fella. I am tipping, based on everything that's happened in the last week, GWS to win this one. Harry Mackay will be a bigger loss than people think. That means everything has to go on to Curnow. It's exactly the same reason why I think the Western Bulldogs have struggled this year, because Bruce hasn't been there for Norton to be that foil. All the pressure is on Charlie Curnow right now, and I don't think that he has the capability to take everything on. And that's no disrespect to the guy, but he needs to have that chop out. And he hasn't got that. So instead of getting the number 2 defender, he's going to get the number 1 defender. Lewis Young in the middle has been brilliant, and Jack Mutt hasn't set the world on fire, but he's been doing enough to make a difference and setting things up for the forward line. So I think they are 3 massive losses. And the GWS Giants haven't been sensational, but they owe their coach one. And I know it's all fanfare and it's the last game for his coaching tenure. Why didn't they do this earlier? But if you've got any respect for your coach who's leaving in terms of Leon Cameron Giants, this is the game you need to go out like Collingwood did for Buckley last year and potentially set your season up to pinch a top 8 spot, but more importantly, for Carlton to find out whether they have got the testicular fortitude to do anything without the big fella. No excuses can be made for Carlton this week. The Giants, 30-point win, says the J-Dog. It's the new coach effect. Always happens. The new coach is next week. The outgoing coach will definitely be the winner here. Alrighty, let's get into the last game. Now, if there's a game that you want to watch for the weekend, this is definitely not it. The West Coast Eagles at 5:20 p.m. They couldn't put this game any later. Versus Melbourne, 5:20 p.m, Optus Stadium. Geez, there's the bottom of the barrel, and then when you lift the barrel, there's the stuff that's underneath that. If you dug all that sort of stuff on all the crap that's underneath the barrel and you find more crap, this is what they've had to get to try and pull a team in. Alex Witherden, Bailey, Jay Williams, Greg Clark, Hugh Dixon, Jackson Nelson all coming in for Wet Toast. Declan Mountfield and Jake Florenka have been omitted. Mountford has been the Medi sub. Jack Redden playing game 250. What an extraordinary record that is, Jack Redden. For people over here in the eastern suburbs, that has snuck up completely. But you've got to get to 377, mate. That's what all the legends get to, at least. Sam Petruski's seat in the hyphen playing his 100th game. And has there been a person who's had as much critique for 100 games as the hyphen has? I'm not too sure. In for the Ds, it's just a squad at this stage. Adam Tomlinson, Jake Melksham, Cade Chandler, Mitch Brown, Sam Wiedemann not getting a game. Maybe they just want him to get a little bit more touch in the twos. Toby Bedford, the only reason why you're getting dropped, mate, is because you've been the Medi sub for virtually every game this year. You need to go and have a run in the twos and get some form as well too. Melbourne by the length of the Flemington Straight. I'm not even going to put a points margin on this because it depends on what Melbourne shows up. Melbourne will win. It's as simple as that. They're going to go back to where they dominated last year, the final series. They'll love it in Perth. The Perth people love them over there. Wet Coast, they're absolutely a shambles for various reasons at the moment. They're not even going to get close. So Melbourne by, you put a margin on it and then times that by 10. That's how much it's going to be. And Jamie's actually gone with an upset the Eagles by 21 points. Jamie, if that actually comes in, I will quit running this show. Tipped out, run by Jamie Wallis as of next week if West Coast win. Well, there you go, trendsetters, Lace Outlaws, everybody who's a member of the show. That is our tips for this week. That means the whistle's blown. That's the end of the show. All you have to remember is we're back Tuesday night, 8 p.m. for Lace Out, because it's how you want your footy. J-Dog and I live every single week. Tipped out, coming to you right now on your headphones, on your car speaker, on your smart audio devices. Give us a review. Give us a like on Spotify and iTunes. And more importantly, it's tipped out. It's how you want your tips. It's Lace Out. It's how you want your footy. And without you guys, we are nothing. Have a fantastic weekend. And I hope your team wins. See you, listeners.